Okay, it is Monday the 21st. How could I forget? Monday the 21st, the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, which at this point right now it's about 4:15 Eastern Standard. So it'll be dark in about a half hour, and I'm well past a half hour into making my way out of here. So that'll be fun. And there's no sun. They've blocked the whole sky with clouds and flat clouds and sprayed us the past 2 days like crazy, with the convergence tonight. They certainly want us to see something that beautiful, would they? So, I'm sure people in the world are seeing it, but here in the Northeast, it's nothing but flat white skies, which, 2 days of spray as well. Anyway, my question to everyone would be, as beautiful as this is, this joining of Jupiter and Saturn, Jupiter, the planet of abundance, and Saturn, the disciplinarian of the universe, basically in its symbolic form, depends what your perception is. It represents the disciplinarian, which the rulers of this planet have taken onto themselves and wish to become that disciplinarian in this 3D realm here and rule it as law, absconding and taking over the actual natural true laws of the universe, which govern not only the physicality of the world we live in, but morality and behavior. And they want to decide what right and wrong is. So in looking at the black sun, as it is referred to, and the coming together of this symbolic, Jupiter, meeting, convergence, whatever you want to call it, and representing that brightness, and of course, the age of Aquarius that's coming with it, which the precession of the equinox. If you study and understand I think it's 2,165 years we change very slowly over the Mayan calendar has marked over time, coming out of now, which we would call the age of Pisces, in Pisces, the age of religion, into the age of Aquarius, the age of man, which, yes, many, many possibilities can open up for people to awaken. All this stuff is real, but it depends what you do with it. Like, I'm not against meditating. I meditate myself. I'll have great meditative thoughts when I see this tonight, if I get to see it, or if I don't, I'll do it on my own. But if I went outside tomorrow and then pretended Trump was the hero and he's fighting the deep state and he's not for the vaccines, and started screaming at the left and didn't realize the entirety of the truth, because I need a savior other than myself, then how did my consciousness awaken and expand if it's the same behavior? So what I'm saying is this isn't fucking magic. Work needs to be done. The truth needs to be spoken. So meditation is great for inner peace and for the ability to go out into the world knowing especially what it is, and connecting to the creator and the universe and nature and all those things. It's great stuff. Doing it collectively, of course, can, quote unquote, change the world if then collectively we go out and change it based on our meditative insights as to how and why this is all happening, as opposed to pointing the finger outwardly, pointing the finger at oneself and realizing, well, if I'm teaching at a school and wearing a mask and teaching kids in masks all fucking day, I'm supporting this bullshit. I've had a revelation. I'm not going to do that anymore. Now that would be an awakening, you see. So if that same person sits and meditates for peace or prays to Jesus to come and then gets out and goes out and does the same fucking behavior tomorrow, that's not a shift in consciousness. So what I'm saying is there's work involved. And as much as I am for the collective meditative state, all trying to, concentrate on, but what is everyone concentrating on? Are we all concentrated together on the truth, on the realization that the entirety of government globally is doing this, and we are allowing it by ignoring it or partaking in it, or being afraid of losing our physical things, our money, our job, our house, because these physical things, oh, here comes a dog and a person, are more deeply rooted in oneself. Hey, how you doing again?
Good.
It's so beautiful, man.
Yeah, thanks.
So these are the questions, you know. And it looks like here, coming out here, I won't even really get to see it because, like I said, the skies are all completely covered. I'm going to make my way out to the lake, hopefully, before it gets dark, and try to see it there, but I doubt it. It's very, as I've shown in some of the cutscenes, very white-skied. But, you know, these are the things that I'm talking about, because the reality of it is, in this country, like, all hell's breaking loose. You know, they're going to try to bring in fear. So all of a sudden, the virus is mutated. We got to lock down the UK. Oh my God, 17 people got it. We're in Australia. We got to lock down certain points of Sydney. Oh, I see. All of a sudden, things are happening. And of course, the vaccine coming out at this time, suspect to me, because that scares a lot of people. A lot of people that don't want it, scares them. The people that do want it, scares them that other people won't take it. It's all fear-based, you know. And that's the quote-unquote vibration they want people in, because then that leads to anger and finger-pointing and, you know, depression. And these are the things people talk about when you're really talking about vibrations. So these are the things, meditation in and of itself, plus the realization of truth, the building of courage through the more understanding of that truth and the more righteous anger that comes from overcoming that fear of the truth. That is the inner work one has to do, you know, and use meditation for. Because getting in that mirror and looking at your life and realizing you've believed in a farce your entire life, everything you've done, all the partaking you may still even be doing, because you don't want to lose your paycheck right now, is your actions. No one's coming to your house and forcing you to do it. Well, how are we supposed to live? Well, you know, if we actually gave a fuck about each other and we all did this, it wouldn't be a problem. But people only give a shit about themselves. And until trouble's at their door, they then reach out, you know, where those of us that have been mourning for a long time about these things have been shunned away by a lot of people who don't want to hear it. Not that they've stopped talking to you or say, they put up this wall. Well, that wall's still there in a lot of people because that wall is based in fear. You know, it's not based in lack of comprehension skills, although that fear psychologically does lead to lack of comprehension skills, because the difference in and shift in consciousness that must occur to take in all the ugly truth about what these scumbag, satanic fucking eugenicists, lords and kings they think they are running the world, you know, to not connect governments into the corporations, into the everyday world, and understand that the money velocity that is being taken and controlled right now, stopped and slowed, is being done by the same fucking people who are doing all this. And soon they're counting on that stoppage of the supplies of everything. We'll say food supplies. We'll talk about everything. They're counting on the division that they are about to spark in the next month with, as I've said, the illusional transition of power, which if Trump steps in and overtakes the election through the obvious, of course, election fraud that went on, then people on the left will lose their fucking minds. Whereas if the crazy man Biden is allowed to step in based on that nonsensical election, and you know what he's going to start doing when it comes to the virus and lockdowns and everything else he's flat out saying, then you will have the righties go nuts and this pitting against of one another, instead of realizing that no matter who gets in there, it's all an illusion to distract you so that you don't see what's coming economically, as far as the food supply system change, or food supply goes, horrible plans these people have to potentially shut down power in places. They're already shutting off water. The attack on businesses that's going on. The sickening behavior of police all over the world. The clip that I think it was on Max Igan's clip today, showing just people in the UK, you know, protesting, you know, because they're losing their freedoms quicker than we are at the moment. And they're just walking, and then hordes of police just walking out and randomly picking out people and grabbing them by the heads and throats and necks. And, you know, yeah, that's fucking great, you know what I mean? You people are real fucking heroes, you know? So, again, here, potential for that to really get out of control, considering, you know, almost everybody in this fucking country has access to a gun somehow, is not the way they want to go. They're going to bring in the entire theater of the election over the next month, and then whack on the rest that they're doing all over the globe already. And it's insane to me that people still can't see that this is not going away, and that simply doing what you're told. Let's go this way. I usually have the sun to guide me because I take all different color trails. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. And I usually just use the sun to get back to the lake. Well, there's no sun, but I'm pretty sure there's a glow that way. But, you know, using these strategies to pit each other against each other, and blinding people from common sense about this nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing head, stuffy head fever, so you can't rest, seasonal flu that we get every year, that now all of a sudden is leprosy. You know, if anybody coughs in line. You know, I saw a lady today in the parking lot, in her car, windows up with her fucking muzzle on, and she's got a Swiffer, and she's Swiffering the dashboard, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And you could see there was a little bit of sun coming, and you could see the dust flithering around inside the vehicle as she swish, 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 she's got the Swiffer and the Swiffer. She looks over at me because I'm staring right at her like, fuck are you doing? So she looks back and she Swiffers. And then she pops the mask off and starts breathing in all the dust, I guess, that she just disturbed all over the fucking vehicle. Oh my God. I just cracked up, got out of the truck and just cracked up my entire walk up to the store. Oh God, serenity now, you know. But you know, it really is insane that this has been able to do what it's done. And you know, these coming months are, move my finger, these coming months are going to be the telltale sign for everyone, for all of us that already know ain't fucking doing this shit. There's a whole lot more people that have to decide we ain't doing this shit for it to matter, you know? I mean, yeah, we could be picked off and we'll stand our ground, and I'll do that all the way to the end. But to kick off the chain reaction that needs to happen to bring freedom is really the goal if we don't achieve it while we're still in these physical bodies. So, you know, those of us that do get it really have to, you know, do what we can over these next months to speak the truth, to be the vehicle for the truth. You know, as every single religion, superhero story, poem, allegorical tale, parable, and just fucking drama movie or action movie has, you know, if you bring it to today's perception, has ever done. Has everybody go on the scene and say, "Yeah, the hero, ooh, the hero," you know what I mean? He got those bad guys. That's you. Hello. That's you right now, because Captain America ain't coming, you know. Thor ain't coming. These people are things we can look to. Jesus, the behavior of these figures we can look to and embody, as they all stood for righteousness, justice, true morality, with the true understanding of rights, where they come from, creation, who they are, who you are. Embodying that and looking up to whoever the hell you want, as long as that's you know, the point of that figure that you're looking at, you know. the point is division, and I'm gonna come get my 166,000 and fuck the rest of you, or whatever fucking stupidity has been thrown into religion to get people to feel special. That this one's mine. And all I gotta do is believe this and close my eyes to every fucking thing in the world, and then I'll be saved. Yeah, those people are truly, hopefully on the cusp of realizing, wait a minute, maybe I do have to say no to some things. This is out of control. This is, and then get the people on the cusp of realizing, this shit's still happening, whether fucking Trump or Biden comes in or not, getting them to take that step into the realization of this is bullshit, especially here in this country, which the only actual war of any meaning took place where freedom was actually fought for. Yes, it was co-opted. Yes, it was steered. Yes, it was turned into what it's turned into. But the point of everyone being created equal, whether it was practiced immediately or not, and the point of the rights of each individual coming from the Creator, not given to you by any government, and the understanding of what a right is what this country here in America is supposed to be founded on. So all of you fuckers that think that means listening to the government, just destroy that entire concept and do whatever the fuck they want because you're too stupid to realize that there's evil people in the world and they fucking own everything and they control everything and they can do whatever the fuck they want, particularly since they own the fucking TV you're watching. Sorry, was that out loud? Until the realization occurs, and that can't happen until fear is gone. Fear can only come from the acceptance of truth and then the understanding of what righteousness is and your responsibility to be righteous. And, having attempted that my entire life, whether I was wrong in certain areas of the choices I was making because I was misguided and brainwashed as well, it is something I've always tried to do. I've always allowed myself to be the voice at expense, fucking give a shit, and there's always a few people who will then speak after you, or, in my day, I've had experience with organizing things that weren't right to get them right, by getting people to stand in what is right, and people can do it. It is just what happens is, it is to do that, especially in the world of, business, work, whatever. It comes at cost, But what you have to do is not give a fuck because what's right is right. And a lot of people can't do that. Even in a daily job, like teaching, like, well, this is fucking right here wearing these things, Where's our union, Hey, union, this is fucking, harmful. We should be fighting this. We should be, cops, same fucking thing. In my day, and again, I don't justify anything differently then than I do now, except that it has grown horrifically into a bunch of thugs and bullies, where back then it was more sporadic. And again, as I've said, it was never around me. It wasn't the mindset of the people I worked with wanting to fuck people, but I'm not denying that it didn't happen, and I'm not denying that simply writing tickets and doing things were correct then, more right then than they are now. It's all been wrong. But the mentality that has changed, not just psychologically with the demeanor of the way cops interact with the public anymore, where, we were more friendly with everybody, knew everybody, joked with everybody, it's more of this authoritative, I can't even approach them type thing, to even in their own protection that are supposed to be there to keep them, from, doing things that aren't right, which used to be fought through the union, which is why I was a union president the last 3 years that I was at that job. And something like this, Christ, I was fighting, as I've said before, ticket quotas that weren't fair to the public because of the implementation of this would bring about, people just getting tickets that wouldn't normally get tickets because, it's not right to. Now, as wrong as getting tickets are, that discretion was still there. They were taking that away, and making more, the standard where you're pushing yourself upon the public. I felt it was wrong, so we fought those things. You're talking about putting masks on yourself as a cop, which they're doing, and breathing that shit. Of course, psychologically getting them used to it, theirs are going to look real cool soon because they'll get to cover their identity and that psychopathic fucking, mindset that a lot of them have now. Now you don't know who they are when they're beating the fuck out of you, so now they'll punch you harder, and they'll look like Cobra operatives and it'll be cool to them. Without looking at this right now and going, I don't do this when I'm with my family. I don't do this when I go to the football game to watch my son play. Doing this at work, I'm learning this is very unhealthy, and then bringing that to your union representatives, and then having the union representatives bring all that medical science to the state level and fighting it, and in the meantime, not wearing it. Everyone not wearing it. Again, it's not, yay, total freedom, but it's fucking something where you would start to say, all right, well, at least these guys are seeing this and that. No, that's not what you're seeing, especially all over the world. You're seeing cops beat the fuck out of people. Now, I know all cops aren't doing that, but what's going to happen as this gets more and more, where the vaccines, you can't go here and there, where the masks you have to have, you can't go here and there. They're just going to be doing that here too. They've already done it in places. Plenty of businesses are fighting back and opening up, because they have the fucking right to. And, protests are occurring at businesses and, different ways of trying to operate to get around this shit. You just think you have the right to just go in and close them all down. And I know it's happening. I know you're doing it, And then you think you're not responsible. You think having a thin blue line shield or a fucking brother who's a cop or a cousin or something is going to save your ass. They can't even save themselves. Because if they were able to save themselves, they would be doing it now by what I just fucking said. But they're not, It doesn't mean that's dark and negative, low vibrational. Oh, I'm bringing myself on the convergence day. It means it's the fucking truth. You speak the truth. You stand in it. It is what it is. I have an emotional opinion on that, sure. But I don't have the inability to control that. I don't have that necessity to have it affect my every fucking moment of my life. I love life, always have a lot of fun. I laugh every fucking day, So I don't dwell every day in, the world. Now, do I get like that? Sure. But I don't fucking dwell on it. That's what meditation's for. That's what knowing yourself is for. That's what understanding the entirety of what's going on here is going to free your mind so that your ass will follow. And partially doing it is going to keep you in the matrix of looking outside to Trump fighting the deep state, to Q, to Biden coming in and getting all the people who won't get vaccinated, or whatever you think is going to save the fucking world, except for you changing your own perception of what's going on here and then stepping into it and allowing this fucking track and trace, mandatory vaccines, mandatory unhealthy masks, social distancing, the ripping apart of human beings socially, psychologically, physically, so that they can continue to, control everything you fucking do and know what you do. If you think going there is going to save you, and that's what you're willing to sit back and let happen, that soul journey that you are on will end in a place that I certainly feel sorry for. Can't even get angry at it. I feel sorry that, the experience here has brainwashed you so much to lose and forget yourself, and to think that evil does not exist and that good is just going to win. God's got it. It's in God's hands. And yeah, we are the little creators of what we live. That's very true. But it takes manifestation of that, not just it takes actual being that in the world. So if we continue to pretend all this shit isn't happening and pour our monies into our businesses to keep them open only to have them shut down soon, continue wearing masks, sending our kids to school in masks, continue waiting on this election result to think one way or the other is going to save us, and then if we're on the losing side, doing that, instead of coming together and realizing the true ugliness and evil of this whole fucking 1984 times 1,000, and then saying no matter what. And if that means I lose everything and die, well, I still have my soul. I still have my spirit. My eternity that I am has not wavered. And I have not fallen to this illusory 3D physicality. And then those that have to learn that lesson, I guess, go on until creation says, start over, dummies. I'm sorry that the people think the universe is so fucking mysterious and can't understand it. It's pretty common sense if you understand the evolution of the soul that has to occur in order for the evolution of the physical experience. And we have been in an environment of suppression, control, slavery for, the entirety of our current form. And there are beings in this current form that don't want us to grow out of that, because then they would lose the control, because they are in states of fear that they want you in. So they want you in greater states of fear, and then they control that fear, and then, they of course never heal themselves until they actually come out of that. So it is a different soul path for those in that capacity. But you aren't born a psychopath. You have the ability to step out of this. And then the more individuals that do that, and that grows collectively, then we actually start to make a difference and change and shift the paradigm shift that we need, where we change the momentum of where this is going. Because right now it's going to complete fucking slavery. If you don't think it is, you're crazy. And you're lying to yourself, and you can't look around and see what's going on. My wife works in a hospital. Every fucking body there loves it. They got the shot. They love it. They can't wait till my husband got it. And my wife's looking at her Facebook going, oh my God. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be the black sheep. Now, of course, there's some of them that won't. And, she's not the only black sheep. However, if you don't think people are just doing this, and why? Well, they love when the nurses on the front line. On the front line, you need me. Yeah, take my vaccine. If you can't see, that's what's being paraded out in front of you, that people all around the world are questioning this. And no one has the right to force them to do fucking anything. That's common sense. Sorry, I don't care if is that medical misinformation? I don't think it is. But who knows, because they don't want people to realize that you don't have the right to do this. You go take and do whatever the fuck you want. Fall for whatever you want, But you don't have the right to make everyone else fucking do it. Same with the mask, same with social distancing, same with not getting together on Christmas, same with all of it. No matter how scared you are. And then, of course, how wrong you are, too, over what is actually happening. But I'm going to leave it there, because I don't want to get too stuck in the dark here. And I just hope that on this day, people are actually, yes, enjoying that meditation, that collective meditation, the knowing that people all around the globe are meditating with you, and connect with that. Be that. Have that rejuvenate you to step into your daily life again and continue to be the truth. Manifest the truth. Speak out against the lie when you hear it. Speak, in better ways than you did before you meditated, because you've brought yourself to a place of peace. I mean, that's what these things are for. And again, of course, collectively, the fact that everyone's doing it, well, not everyone, but many people are doing it all over the globe, those energies can really help this next hurdle that is, in my opinion, the hurdle. If this is forced in and life continues where they just start ripping things away from everybody who won't get it, and nobody gives a fuck, and people just go on and get it, well, then that's it. You know what I mean? That you're going to have your separation of society then, at that point, and you will either sit back and watch us all be fucking murdered as we fight for our freedoms and do not let anyone take them from us, while continuing to stay non-aggressive towards, anyone else that isn't trying to cause bodily harm to me, but not allowing to us, because there's more than me in the fucking world that feel this way, but certainly not allowing ourselves to be lost and become what we hate, but certainly not allowing people to step in and take our freedoms. And then what? Then I guess you guys will all go on. Woo, yeah! Let me know how that... Well, actually, I'll watch from another realm. You don't have to let me know. My infinite experience, I'm going to take a pause and say, let me see what happens here for a minute before I go somewhere else. Because reality is, you did choose to be here for what is coming. And many people are failing at what they've come to do. And you need to admit that. Look in the mirror if you're one of those people and say, fuck, man. If not for me, for my kids. For the kids. For the future. Anyway, love you guys. Get learning. Get speaking.